Yeah. In the last session, we have discussed the two-dimensional arrays. In two-dimensional array, like we have seen the syntax of declaring the two-dimensional arrays and initialization also we have seen it. Okay, and we have seen an example. We have written an example on two-dimensional arrays as well. Uh, let's see one more concept called jagged array, and then we'll see the three-dimensional arrays. Okay. So what exactly a jagged array? So what exactly a jagged array? So it is simple. Like jagged array is like it's arrays of array of arrays. Okay. So you'll be creating it. You can say that it is a nested array. Okay. In an array, you'll be creating one more array. So that is nothing but a jagged array. And so how you are going to initialize a value for the jagged array? How you're going to what is the syntax of jagged array, how you're going to declare it a jagged array, how you're going to initialize a value for jagged array. Let's see that. So same here what we are doing is, so we will be using the same two-dimensional array. We'll be taking the two-dimensional array, data type two arrays, and we will be giving the variable name here. So variable name, and here we'll be giving new data type and two arrays, and here you will be specifying the size. Okay, so here the size would be now how many rows you want to be your array, what is the depth of your array size. Okay, so if you are mentioning 2, the depth of array size is 2. If you are mentioning 3, the depth of array size is 3, means it will take 3 rows, 1 2 3, something like this. 3 rows it will take. Okay, let's say for example I want to create a jagged array for integer to store some int values. Okay, let's say that int array, and I'll be giving the name as values, and here new int, here you should be giving the size. Okay, so when you're giving something like this, so the values variable will be pointing to two indexes. First index is, this is the first index and this is the second index. Okay, this is the zeroth index and this is the first index. Up here it is the first index. Cool. Now what I'll do is jagged array, in the sense I said arrays of arrays, right? So here inside this array I'll be creating a one more array. So value of 0 will be a one index, and values of 1 would be another index. Okay, so inside this values of 0 I'll be creating one more array. So I'll say values of 0 equals to new int of, let's say I want to store two values or three values, so let me give that. Okay, if you're giving something like this, let me write it over here at the top also, you can write it. Okay, the top. So I'll say I have given the values of 0 equals to 3. So how many indexes will be created for value of 0? So it will be 3 indexes, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in this 3, again, the indexes will start from 0. So I'll mention 0, 1, 2. Okay. So this is entirely a value of 0 up to here. Okay. So now I want to store like two more values at index number 1. Okay, so I'll write values of 1 equals to new int of 2. Okay, so value 1 will be storing two indexes, and I'll say 1, 2. So the index number starts from 0 and 1, because we are storing only two values. Okay. Now how the initialization, now you can, as now here, as per like what jagged array in the sense like it is a arrays of arrays. Okay, so arrays of arrays in the sense like in an array you'll be in an array, in this array, in this values array, you'll be storing one more array, right? That it's an this is an array and you'll be storing one more array, and the size of an array is 3. Here you'll be creating one more array and the size of array is 2. So where you are storing these two values? In index number 1, values of index number 1. Where you are storing the three values, the size of three arrays, you will be storing at the 0th index of values. Got it? Now how the initialization would be done for this one? So similarly, for example, if I want to assign a value, let's say I want to store the values like till 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I want to store these values, okay? These values in these indexes. Okay, how we will do that? How we will do that? So this is exactly values. Okay, if I want to store a value at the index number 0, okay, I can't store because it is an array. There is one more array. So what I do is I'll values, this is values and this is values of 0. I'll write it over here. Values of 0. This is values of 0. Okay, this entirely up to here it is called values of 0. Now I want to store the value 10 at index number 0. So what how you should write values of 0, and you want to store the value 10 at the 0th index. So this entirely called value of 0, and you want to store the value at 0th index, you should say 0 0. Okay, 0 0, and you'll be assigning a value 10. Cool. Similarly, for example, if I want to store no value 20 at first index, so how you would do that? Values of 0 of 1. Okay, values of 0 and you have 1, and the value is 20. Okay, so now if I want to store the value at second index, so what do you do that? So values of 0, and I want to store the value at second index, I'll say values of 0 2, values of 0, and it is 2. So you'll be storing 30. Okay, so here we'll store the values 10 20 10 20 and 30. Okay, so now values of 0 stored all the values or filled all the indexes. Now I want to no store 40 and 50 in value of 1. Okay, value of 1 indexes. So value of 1 is a sub array. So we can't store directly in a value of 1 because it is a sub array. So what we do is we will store this value of 1 indexes. So value of 1 indexes. What are the value of 1 indexes? There are two indexes are there, 0 and 1. So I'll say values of 1, and I want to store the value 40 at index number 0. I'll say 0. This entirely it is called, from here to here, entirely it is called value of 1. This is entirely it is called value of 0. So I want to store the value at 0th index. I'll say value of 1 0, and we'll store 40. Okay, and I want to store the value 50 at first index. I'll say values of 1 1, and you'll be storing assigning the value 50. Okay, so based on your assignment, the values will be initialized. Okay, 50. Good. Okay, so this is a jagged array. So jagged array in the sense, so it is some people we used to call it as a jagged array. Some people used to call it as it's a nested array. Okay, it's arrays of arrays is nothing but nested array. Okay, so in an array we will be storing one more array, that is nested array or jagged array. Okay, So let's see a simple example on this. Okay.